நீங்க பேசும்பொழுது இதை மூட்ல
இது வீடியோ
நீங்க எடுத்துட்டோம். ஓ அவங்க வச்சுருக்காங்க.
ஹலோ மேடம். தெரியுது
தெரிய வேண்டாம்.
தெரியட்டும்
தெரியட்டும். ஓகே. இது வந்து
காணும். இது சைடு ஷேர் பண்ணிக்கலாமா?
We start now, sir.
Yes, madam. I am ready.
No, sir.
Hello, everyone. Present here virtually. I am Pallavi here, and I welcome to all for today's session, which is titled as Ethics in Research, Relevance and Importance. And presenting this session, we have with us expert, Dr. C. Venkatachalam, sir. Dr. C. Venkatachalam is a MA, MPhil and PhD in sociology. He has 26 years teaching experience in 3 universities as Acharya Nagarjuna University, Andhra Pradesh, Bhartidasan University and Periyar University in Tamil Nadu. Currently, mentor professor at Bhartiyar University, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. Is handle the research projects funded by UNICEF, WHO, Swedish International Development Agency. He has expert in human development report and perspective plans. He has delivered more than 200 important addresses as a inaugural, keynote, valedictory, plenary, etc. Member in many professional associations, including International Society on Early Intervention Center of Human Development and Disability, University of Washington, USA. He organized 25 academic programs, including 2 international. Without wasting much time, I welcome to Dr. C. Venkatachalam, sir. You may start now, sir.
Okay, ma'am. For PPT. Visible, madam? These slides.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, good afternoon to one and all. At, at the out, at the outset, my sincere and heartfelt thanks to the entire team of Business Rojgar. Once again, I am associating with this important organization. Earlier, several occasions I have delivered my lecture. Today, through the webinar address, my topic is ethics in research, relevance and importance. Since research is a very important aspect, not only in students' life, several organizations, institutions, even government agencies, non-governmental organizations, and many more bodies, entities are doing the research for the development of the society as a whole. In this context, this afternoon, to deliver this lecture to the people who are directly or indirectly involved in the research process, there is a need of our too. Research is everyday life. We are doing the research for a number of things. Research is nothing but searching again and again to find out the hidden facts. Research starts with the question and ends with the question instead of the full stop. Research is common to all subjects, not only for only one subject, even including physical sciences, chemical sciences, biological sciences, health sciences, social sciences, whatnot. All the subjects are having the research. Many entities having research and development wings to understand what is happening in the society to deliver their best. Research is a systematic inquiry to describe, explain, predict, and control the observed phenomenon. Since it is the important is everyday life itself is observing many things, and when you are making to the systematic inquiry to describe the things from the our operational definitions, explain in order, predict the future in through the time series, and control the various aspects which will help you a lot. This is the definitions given by American famous sociologist L. Robert Babbage. It involves inductive and deductive methods to come to know about different dimensions of the things. The purpose of the research is identify the potential areas to carry out the research in different forms, different categories, different settings. For example, there are plenty of rural areas, urban centers, industrial settings, even tribes. So the potential areas for the research is very, very important. Understand the existing phenomena in detail is a part of the research. Set the logical goals because logically interconnectivity is the very important aspects of the research because research is moving towards the different types of goals. Research is already told that it is not a is one time activity because many organizations are updating the things since society is come across several dimensions, several challenges facing, changes are taking place in every aspect because today's society is going from simple to complex in nature. Develop the essential strategies for any kind of entities, organizations, institutions, because through the research only we can understand that what are the changes are being taking place, and until unless we without doing the research we cannot understand the the changes, and depending upon the changes we need the strategies to be there. Address the challenges because challenges are many in forms of not only the challenges, the issues, problems are coming up. Some today contemporary issues are differ from the what were the issues were there in the earlier. Put together a crystal clear plan. Research is nothing but a planning process is very, very important. Because of these things, clear cut planning, the research is required more and more opportunities. Identify the new opportunities for the researcher who is started the at the beginning, and he can understand the opportunities are available across the world. So world is through the research, the world is so become so small because connectivity, contacting the people or group who are working for the particular research project. So getting the acquaintance with all the people, their finding, sharing the knowledge, information, and making it to the theory, the fact, developing the hypothesis, identifying the variables, methodological orientation, research process, so the universe, sampling techniques. So many things are involved in the research because research is nothing but finding the new kind of opportunities. So types of research, as told that research is a common to all subject, all disciplines. Research is pure, basic, and fundamental. Some of the research are first category is a pure research or basic research, fundamental research is already existing body of the knowledge is there. Our findings may be added one more flavor and identifying the some more aspects to be addressed. Action oriented researches are there are several problems are pertaining in the society. To address this issue, the researcher is now and then he correct the people, correctional administration, and educating the people to avoid certain things, and many things to be added. That is the another kind of action oriented. Applied research is nothing but the findings will be very useful to the policy making institutions at small level to uh, various levels. So the findings is because it has come scientifically to help the bodies. Policy oriented researches. Policy oriented research is nothing but the research is giving a kind of dimensions and making more and more samples and making comparative analysis for the different aspects of this. So you can go for the doing the research on industry. Industry is in a small, medium, large, gigantic. So all these things are the type of research applicable to any kind of this one entities. Nature of research. Researches require accuracy because research is not ambiguity. Researchers needs a systematically the selecting the topic, converting the topic into the problem, and what are the things to be added, and what type of questions to be raised, what are the hypotheses to be tested, and what kind of information to be gathered. So all the things are essential incorporated. So accuracy, the word consists of several meanings, several understandings are required. Systematization. Research is nothing but starting from the how to prepare the statement of the problem for a research topic, scope of the research, need for the study, and how the research questions to be raised, what are the questions to be raised, and depending upon the research questions, the objectives to be framed, specific objectives and general objectives, and making to make generalizations to researcher to go to the review of literature systematically, thoroughly studied, and what are the findings have been already generated to understand various dimensions across the world. There is a how the sample has been selected, how the interpretation has been given, and all it is important. It's a need of the hour. Code of conduct. Researchers since taking the issue to be studied. Researchers maintaining a minimum conduct code of conduct and is not deviating much and very consistently doing the work and contacting the people, visiting the places, feasibilities to be identified through the code of conduct. And later on, empirical inquiries need our hour because it is through observation. Methods are tools to be used, and different type of methods are being collected if the research is qualitative in nature, like empirical, this one, observation, case studies, content analysis, narratives, so several things, even oral history, all the things are comes under the focus group interview. Interview itself is the a kind of qualitative research, which is the researcher and the respondent because they both are getting the benefit. Research is a complex in nature. Interview is a complex in nature. In this context, researcher is getting a more and more gainful knowledge. He is understanding about the area specific and the people's literacy, people's socioeconomic characteristics, and lifestyle, and several many more things are there to conduct the empirical. inquiries there. The knowledge sharing is the most important aspect in this context, because sharing the knowledge from one group to other group and gaining from others, and the research is getting more and more ideas. What are the ideas to be? What are the agencies are working on this particular aspect? So knowledge sharing with the expertise and inviting expertise to this is own ideas, sharing critical analysis. In-depth analysis is a key compact mechanism for the research, because any kind of research should not be within the, you have to go for a long, lengthy addresses and understanding in deep. And when you making this one sample from one place and making in other places also, so making small kind of comparative analysis, the research is going in depth. And research should not have any irregularities. Research should be since inception, since the problem has been chosen, is a very consistency. Consistently would address the research areas to be identified. So research should be very systematic. Path for generating new questions, because research is always raising the questions from time to time. For example, many of the things are we have illiteracy, poverty, um, beggary, unemployment, underemployment. So several classifications are being made. For example, poverty in terms of not only in the economic aspect, but poverty is creating a lot of inconvenience to people. How the people are managing, how the people are sharing the small kind of income, and how the family is creating inconvenience to the children are concerned. So all these aspects are to raise a new kind of questions being arised. There is a rural poverty, urban poverty, subjective poverty, absolute poverty, relative poverty. All the things are because through the research we are making so many conceptualizations being done. Existing data helps create more research opportunity, because research is always talking about known to unknown or science to non-science. See, existing data, because sometimes no, without going to the field, already the data has been available. For example, National Family Health Survey data, NSSO data, the data are available. So data is stimulating the mind to the researcher to create more and more research opportunities. What are where the findings can be utilized. No uncertainty in interpretation. Interpretation is the key, because researcher is understanding the concepts. He physically went to the field, meeting the people, various organizations and entities. For example, for example, there is self-help groups, how the women are in a microfinance, how they are developing the model, how the finance system, what type of incubation has gone out from the women members in the self-help groups, how they are approaching the formal banking system, and how they are maintaining the ledger, how the small groups are helpful to them, not only by the making these groups are vibrant, how these things are minimize the divisions, maximize the profit, and all we can understand. Similarly, we can go through things of job satisfaction of the labor. What are the parameters are? What are the yardsticks they develop to make utilize of their labor precisely? Planning in advance. Research is nothing but how the planning process to be done, because planning is a very essential for the research is concerned. Because planning in the sense of how the people know, sometimes for the a tiny village, an hamlet, or in the small village in the some particular area, there is a health aspects, water resources, gender disparity if anything is there, what are the industries are available, what is the people lifestyle, and how this one the economic system is prevailing, and what are the things to be if anything is started, for example starting an industry, how these things will motivate the migration or curb the migration, and what type of facilities are available for the children are concerned, the school system, the linking between the rural urban continuum, rural renewal. So several aspects are being planning in advance So it will help the people where the people will adopt the changes are taking place in well in advance. Micro level planning, because research is nothing but the planning at the micro level. Micro level planning always helping the, because planning with the people always is a important aspect. For this also research is coming to a big way to help the policy making institutions in different levels. Human development is the major aspect, because it's taken not only for the physical infrastructure facilities available for example of the all the houses are electrified or not, the potable water being given or not, the houses having the toilet facilities, the houses having all the aspects, but within the available resources, how the child inequality index is being prevailed. The children are how the children are the enrollment ratio in schools, and what are the facilities are available to the children are concerned, and how they are going from the primary to middle, middle to high school to secondary, and how they are the transfer to the higher education is concerned. How the women empowerment is there. There is a difference between men income, women income, gender disparity, how the panchayat raj institutions are helping them to come forward, how the women are make use of these things. So all the things qualitatively, quantitatively, and this is a negative aspect, positive dimensions, multi-dimensional poverty index. So all the measurement is giving a kind of a clarity to the how the development is indicators being fixed, how it is being analyzed. It is being different perspectives. For example, for the smallest countries, the tiny countries, their expectation, their ideas are entirely different. The country like India have a second to China in terms of population size is concerned, and are going to overtake China within a few years or within this year itself. So the human development is from different perspectives, become from sociological aspect, economic dimensions, political perspective, psychological, emotional, and all the dimensions which help even for the developed countries perspective, developing nations within the developing nations, the nations with the minimum this one facilities. So human development is the key. Only through the research, consistent research, we can understand what are the parameters to be identified. Existing schemes are many. For example, the how these the primary source of income, and how these this to be addressed, and what type of health parameters. Some of the things are the census are being taken once in 10 years, but annual census regarding the perinatal, infant mortality, the maternal mortality rates, childbirth. So several aspects are annual plans, and all which will help to they make a fusion for the research is concerned for the development of the human development. Theoretical building. Research is creating several theories. Theories is the torchlight. Theories will help how the new type of things to be emerged. Some of the researchers having almost all kinds of theories may be suitable to, because theories are conceptual scheme, or the theories are different things to different people. Theory is not being written for only for one particular kind of subject, but theoretical building perspectives to be developed from the sociological angle. If we talk about this, the society is evolutionary. The changes are taking place. Some of the changes are very slow level changes. Some changes are medium level faster. Some change so fast, because we know very well we experienced COVID-19 in the last couple of years or 3 years, and how the people managed, how the people have come up, what type of strategies they found, what are the how many the family environment, how they adjust to the situation. So theory is coming to picture. This is from the evolutionary. The theory talks about structural functionalism, how the the institutions have started to function within the facing the challenges, crisis created by the natural calamities, and all the aspects. The theories are talking about is a conflict in nature, how the people are differ, how the people are uh, uh, this you know, having the conflict with the rest of the society, how these things being managed. And the theories talk about the interaction through symbols, symbolic interactionism, how the people are mind, self, society have been changed. What are things? So all the aspects are coming out because of the research creating the or stimulating the theory, new theories, existing theories will be modified, revisited, re re reanalyzed. All the things are coming because of the research is consistently, systematically being carried out. Scientific writing to the exhibit the findings because the through the findings at the micro level, at the macro level, the findings of the research will help the policy making bodies to understand what type of things are because many of the countries they are expecting much from the researchers across the world. So today we are talking about the climatic changes are taking place, and many more institutions are being they faced the challenges, higher education system, and link between schools and the colleges, and CSR, corporate social responsibility, and industrial things. So all the aspects are to be understood very systematically, very seriously. Then we're coming to the main topic is ethics in research because any kind of work, any kind of aspect, we need ethics. Ethics is the norms, ethics as a values, ethics is a systematic and approach needed of the hour. A researcher should identify the trends, issues, opportunities, and the problems because trends are no earlier trends are differ. Recent trends because any kind of research, any kind of subject, because they're throwing the right, underline, estimate what are the things are taking place because economic aspect and the psychological dimensions and the environmental aspect. So the entire globe is coming under the a small area because the sharing the knowledge, sharing the expertise, because the websites are bringing a lot of information and to help the people to go through the secondary data sources and all. But issues are pertaining, several issues are coming up because issues not only for the one particular group, but issues are regarding the laborers are concerned in the unorganized, organized sector, and what are the within the unorganized sector, what are the within the unorganized organizations are work, how the organizations are working out. Opportunities are available not only for the researcher, but through the research we can help the people who are really badly in need and the problems of them and how the problems are being classified and how this economic problems are there, emotional problems are there, and the problems for the gender disparity and all the things. Keeping the track of frequency with the each of the main findings appears because researcher is very frequent with the what are the findings are taking place through the research and what type of methodology being adopted and what type of tools have been used. All the things are as a part of the research because research is very frequently we're talking about the starting from childhood. We have a number of child laborers, the wastage of childhood, the problems of the street children, child abuse, child use. So several aspects are being discussed because frequency in each aspect. For example, youth, wastage of youth, how the youth are being because educated and educated within the educated youth there is how many are in unemployed, underemployed, all the dimensions regarding the coming to the aged is 60 plus and what are the so the age is become the become the wisdom and age is not a curse. Even the old age homes are coming up, but oh, the aged can contribute their best to the rest of the society. How we can utilize their aspect dimensions and all the things. Then make the list of findings from most common to the least common because research is no research is every aspect of the research is very useful to make use of the findings to the rest of the society is concerned because when the research is nothing is least common because we find even a single A tiny research finding is a spark, creating, stimulating the mind of the researcher to make use of this. This chances to spark is research. Evaluating the list of strength, weakness, opportunities, and the threats, identifying the SWOT analysis. Because research has plenty of strength. Strength is selection of the topic, how the topic is very useful for the society as a whole, the country as a whole, and area specific. And the research is the strength of the researcher is to getting more and more information, more and more knowledge. Several organizations are delivering their statistics information as much as possible. When the research is having so informative, is gathering all the information, making this use of these things in put in orderly, that will become his strength. The weakness of some of the research problems, some of the research is conducting the research very difficult. So researcher has to change the mindset. Instead of tools, scales, you can use of methods, because nobody can stop to carrying out the research is concerned. Sometimes observations will help a lot. When we are unable to make use of the tools of the data collection, researcher is in a position to use the observation. Researcher can make use of the case studies. They make a use of without taking this tool in the hand, but he can make use of case studies. How even case studies study about a single unit, starting from the individual, an entity, organization, industry, whatever it may be. Researcher is making use of these things because all the weaknesses are for the researcher, it comes down under his control. Opportunities. When the researcher is making use of these research findings and his research chances, opportunities are plenty. Crores of opportunities are available to make use of these things. You can become the best researcher and understand the viewpoints of the many things. Threats. Research is always giving a threats. Already we told that research start with a question, end with a question, because all the budding researchers will identify where the research findings to be carried out. For example, you can start doing from the industry, how the tea industry in India, how the tea across the world, how the tea after the water, drinking water, tea is occupying the important place. But how China is the first country producing the tea in the world, India is second, and tea consuming countries, these are Turkey, England, Ireland, and all how these countries are being. So researcher is how many laborers are involved in the things, what kind of the work is being carried by the labor working in the tea industry, how the tea is better than the coffee, how these why the people are liking the tea much. So how the tea days, how the tea party, what are the concepts are available, how the tea is inseparable from the in everyday's life. So how make your use using the things, visiting the websites and understanding what is it, the kind of tea is being manufactured, prepared, what kind of tea, masala, chai, all the things. No, research is being plenty of uh, several inputs to go for the further research in order opportunities. So this is SWOT analysis will help to strength research, weakness of the research, opportunities are available, and the threats is identified through the SWOT analysis. Preparing the conclusion recommendations about the study, because research is not end with the only for the concluding remarks, but recommendations. It will help to stimulate the mind of the researcher, and the budding researchers will identify. We will quote our findings. They will go for the our recommendations will help you a lot. How these things to be, because through the experience the researcher is gaining what kind of recommendations to be recorded. So it will help be a very good initiative for the many organizations are concerned. Then research is acting strategies as per the knowledge gained, because research is providing the yardsticks to be developed, strategies to be established, which is need of the hour. Because knowledge society is already knowledge is there. What kind of knowledge, what kind of things to be collected, or what are things to be ordered, because theory is many things. Theory is speculation. Research is theory giving inputs to the researcher. What are the facts to be collected? As a French philosopher Durkheim mentioned that It is a social factors already established. Facts are there. What type of facts to be collected? What type of facts to be gathered? Because we can understand that demographically speaking, the societies keep on changing the population structure, population size, and the male female this one deviations, and how these things are the size of density of the population is concerned, and population trend when you are going for this population control family planning, and what type of impact created by on the society, that all we are going to study in the research through the gained knowledge. Looking for gaps in the information, because research is always finding the gap areas in research. Without knowing the gap, with the gap areas, the researchers cannot identify what are the facts to be collected. So gap is very, very important. Every researcher is giving a some kind of gap for the future researchers are concerned. So in this connection, information to be gathered, which is helped by the previous research, and consider doing additional inquiry if necessary. Because research is no, because whenever they complete the studies are there, we need some more information to be incorporated, identified, and come to these things. Now, relevance of the, because this is the important relevance of the research. Rigorous planning is essential. Planning always is very important process, because planning is helping the policy making institutions. Policy is a course of action. Further planning is required. For the planning, program is needed. So rigorous planning always helping the researcher to what to be done, what not to be done, what is important for the doing, what is important for not doing also. So rigorous planning process is helping the researcher to come to know about what kind of help he can help in the many organizations are concerned. Efficiently findings the gap areas, because I already told that filling the gap, because gap is there, one research to other research. Sometimes we are going for the longitudinal studies. After yes, yeah, after gap, again we are conducting the research to identify what is the difference between the previous research and this research. Sometimes 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. So the changes are taking place. Otherwise, no, there is no use of making the one-time research. Once the research is completed, taking a gap, then again going to the revisiting the field and identify what are the changes are taking place. Certainly, which will help. Changes are not. That also is the important findings of the research. Genuine and strategic coursework, because research is nothing but correcting the information and going for the making use of findings, but beyond that, research requires coursework, because any kind of research is confined to the a particular course. A course is you're talking about the different kinds of conceptualization, different kinds of strategic to be incorporated, and what are the subject matter of the research, and all aspects. For instance, we want to study about the trade union is concerned. Trade unions, how the trade union movement has been started in India at the time of independence, how Mahatma Gandhi visualized importance of labor union. Labor union, as somebody come forward to help the workers to start the union, because somebody came from outside, educationists, advocates, and the people who have more information than the laborers, because of through the education. Later period, the workers themselves started the trade union. It became the trade union now. Trade unions are different kinds of trade unions, are federal unions are there, and how these unions are helping, and reciprocity, how the workers are helping the union, how the workers participate in the trade union activities are concerned. So this is a kind of example. Opportunities and identification. Because research is nothing but it is a going for a longer process. When a person is doing a kind of research, for example, earlier people identified family is the problems of family, type of family, nuclear or joint. But today, because no, because we are not sharing the common yield, common harvest. Those days, common harvest was common yield was there. Family was a joint in nature. But today, family has because of several process, industrialization, urbanization, liberalization, globalization, whatnot, modernization, etc. Family become tiny, even in spite of within the things, the government machinery, many more organizations are emphasizing for the go for small family norms and all the things. So what is happened? Family becomes nuclear in nature. But we can identify today families are more powerful in terms of this joint in families are structurally nuclear. We need a new kind of definition. Structurally, you can functionally joint. In the year 1994, the International Year of Family has been created. So the new definition has come. Families are the smallest democracy, smallest are small in the heart of the society. So family research is now many of the organizations, many of the institutions are expecting much from the family. Family can contribute their best. Family can send the technocrats. Family can send the scientists. Family can send the bureaucrats. Whatnot. But when the same family cannot deliver the all the best also, because depending upon the situation, depending upon the income resources, so several aspects are pressurize the family in nature. So how these things are not to be understood through the this one opportunity identification, resource mobilization. Research is helping the researcher. Resource mobilizations are concerned because many of the funding agencies across the India, across the world, they're ready to provide the funding facilities for the research is concerned. Sometimes they're asking for the tiny project. Tiny project is so useful for the one particular area, development of the areas are concerned. Other proposals are there expecting from the at a certain level, median level, and making for the comparative between one state to other state, even for or comparative between one country to other country. What are the socio-economic characters of one country? For example, we discuss about the old age homes. Today, old age homes are coming up like anything because of the longevity has been increased, advancement in the medical field. Simply, people are living 60 plus, 70 plus, 80 plus, even more centenarians are available in India. Because India has currently nearly 9% of the population is aged. 9% itself is the we can compare with these things. Many countries don't have such type of population is concerned. India within India we have several states. Each state has the one country's population. Every year, India adding either Australia or Singapore or Sri Lankan country's population. How this each state has a so such type of things now when you're having because elderly is increasing, fertility has come down. So what will be happen? So when the society now today we are talking about the demographic dividend. India is a 50% of the population is less than the age of 25, and 65% of the population the below the age of 35. And they say India is a young country in the country. Oh, one aspect is concerned. But in the coming year of 2059, we can enjoy these things because all the youth and the children become the producers. But later period, what are the things will be taking place that we could understand what type of resource mobilization because aged as the wisdom maker the beautiful these things because they can interrelationship between the aged in when compared with the other countries, what type of strategies they have. Already Japan, Scandinavia, Italy, UK, and all, they have a more than 20 percentage, 20 to 25% of the population is aged. We have only currently we have 8.5 percentage. But what kind of strategies they have developed, that all we can understand from through our as resource mobilization is concerned. Objectivity with clarity. Research is always talking about objectivity than the subjectivity is concerned. Most of the time, we are talking about the research objectivity. Objectivity is not giving any room for bias. We are neutral, understanding the things with the clarity. So, objectivity of the research is very useful for many kind of social science researchers or any kind of research is concerned. Because when the research is doing with the objectivity, you will understand without any ambiguity, without any bias. Understand chances to explore the findings in publishing the articles in reputed journals. Research ethic is very important. Relevance is now and then the findings to be delivered, to be expressed, to be written in the scientific journal. Scientific writing is very important. Scientific writing talk about how the researcher is gaining the more and more knowledge. Is explore the what are the things he identified in the research because Many of the research has come up with the because of the a very good research has been carried out, which is being published in the important journals. Efficiency in each stage of research since very beginning, because stage by stage is very very important. Because efficiency is a productivity is a need of the hour. How this research is developing a leadership qualities for the research is concerned, because research is having a functional leader today, then the democratic leader, then the autocratic leader, then the aristocratic leader. So research is providing the different kinds of efficiency to develop the research in the career path is concerned. Importance of ethics in research. Importance standard with the topmost qualities, because qualities there should not be compromised at any cost, because the standard, developing the standard, fixing the standard, more and more conceptualization, more and more dimensions, more and more aspect. That is the most important aspect of the research is concerned. Topmost qualities are very very important. Maintain good record of all kinds of research activities, because orderly research is very very important. Keeping the record kind of research activities, because we are conducting the for the research conducting a seminar or symposia or workshop or conference or roundtable meeting or colloquium, to bring the people together under one umbrella who are doing the research of this. So on the spot we are getting more and more. So research activities is possible because of the we are doing the research, collaborating the things, bringing the people together to to disseminate, to highlight what are the problems are, what are the issues are there. Similarly, preparing the working paper from time to time, because working papers are concerned, small findings, working papers being uh, published, so it will get the idea for the further research, because research findings should not be kept for a longer time without publishing it. Orderliness is important in inception of the research, because orderliness in the sense of quality, quantity, and what is the course of action, and when the research to be completed, the ethical committee meeting, and several people, several dimensions, several inputs, criticisms, accepting the criticisms, all possible in the kind of research is concerned. Relevance of literature review, because any kind of research, a systematic review of literature. The studies might have been conducted in different parts of the world. Sometimes what kind of methods they've used to collect the data, but what is a nature of the findings. Raising the research questions from through the review of literature, that will help the researcher to framing objectives. On the basis of objectives, you can go for the hypothesis, development of hypothesis also. Time schedule and completion on time. Research should not be delayed at any cost, because time to time we need a completion schedule and make use of these things, because one day late, many findings may be getting the back seat. That should be avoided. Advance the findings to express thought-provoking ideas. Research is always stimulating the mind for the good researchers are concerned. Every one of us researches, but all the people are not going for the thought-provoking ideas for these things. So researcher should make use of how these things communication should be thought-provoking, nurturing good qualities. A researcher and the supervisor are the best in the world in terms of quality. Good qualities are concerned. Nurturing good qualities since very beginning. Consistency in research work. Research should not go for any kind of lakwana, any kind of inconsistency. Ethical standards to be maintained, because research we should not disturb anybody. Standard to be maintained in depending upon the research is concerned. Sometimes life sciences, physical sciences, chemical sciences, agricultural sciences, health, so every aspects are. So within these things, the two aspects we have discussed, research is relevance and importance, ethics. Now research is required consistent work schedule. All we know very well. Consistency is the most important aspect of the word. Consistency which bring the research is gaining more and more information, more and more knowledge. That is important. Identify the future funding agencies and their mottos, because once you research, send the research proposal, that should be accepted. So at the 100% concentration should be given to identify the funding agencies, their motto, their trust areas, and when so that is a researcher has to gain a knowledge to go to the funding agencies, objectives, and all. Join the mainstream of the researchers in the particular field because once you select the, for example, talking about the migration, sometimes short migration, long term migration, and migration between from rural to urban, urban to rural, rural to rural, urban to urban. So, why the people are migrating, and what is the impact on migration? Today, we are talking about medical tourism, health tourism, people going for the excursion, educational tourism, better employment opportunities. Since time immemorial, why man is keep on moving? The impact of family, impact of the man's movement, migration on the family, women's migration. So several aspects to be addressed, providing solutions to the many problems because research is nothing but the problems to be sorted out. Problems should not be prolonged. That identifying the important dimensions to the social problems are concerned. Expansion of knowledge. Research is nothing but expanding the knowledge in a nutshell because knowledge is no knowledge is power. Knowledge and information is power. The both to be approached, both it's available, but to be incorporated. Values required for collaborative work such as mutual respect and fairness, because collaborative is very, very important today. Because it is research is not confined to one particular domain. Research is for several aspects are required. For example, talk about deviant behavior of a person. Psychologists also working on that. Sociologists are working on that. Political aspect out there. Public administration is scheduled. And what are things are even science, any kind of scientific inventions coming to the human society is concerned. The last but not least, scientific research depends on collaboration between researchers and the groups. Various groups are possibilities to join together. As already told that research is nothing but under one umbrella, bringing the people together to find out the time demanding solution to the social problems which are pertaining to the society, and we can help the policy making institutions, governance, and non-governmental organizations. So we can easily understood that research mind is always very clarity is needed, ethical standard is required, and research are always vibrant to make use of the society as a meaningful structure. So with these few remarks, few ways, and I thank you for the organizers for giving the opportunity to express my the topic which is essential for today for the many budding researchers and the researchers who are already taking the research, and that should be precious and more informative. So thank you for all the people who are listening my lecture. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for this very
So,
nice session. If anyone has
okay,
any
madam.
question, you can ask. I think no one have any questions, sir.
Okay, thank you, madam. Thank you.
Thank you so much, all the participants, for your active participation.
Oh,
We
okay,
informed.
madam. Okay. Thank you, madam. Thank you for your giving me an opportunity once again to work along with you. Thank you so much.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, madam.